Peace, light, and love. Since last week, since this week, it's Friday. It's the beginning of March, right? Or is it 28th of February? It's either the last day of February or the first day of March. I didn't check. But anyway, it's the beginning of spring, so almost, not really. But it feels like it. See the flowers everywhere, the rain stopped. And I wanted to update you. I have learned of a new condition or disease. It's called Duputren. This is what I have. And I welcome everybody. If you have Duputren's Contortion it's called, please feel free to make comments on this video and I'll tell you how I was diagnosed. I had pain in my hands and I thought it's related to, I broke my finger because of the dog pulling the leash. And I thought I had a bump. I noticed a bump on my hand, as you can see. Can you see this bump? And then I was like thinking, what can it be? What can it be? Can you see the bump? And I went to a specialist very nearby, who's an expert in hand orthopedics. And he told me that what I have is called the Viking disease. It's usually common in Scandinavian people. And all of a sudden, everything's changed for me since then. I'm constantly thinking, what if I'm of Scandinavian descent? What if my whole life is a lie? What if it explains why I don't fit in the family? And maybe it explains why they never put me in the inheritance and stuff, and why I feel so different than the rest of my family. I always felt alienated. My values were always different. They were always looking for money, and I was always looking for meaning. And I thought, I don't want to stereotype, but maybe I'm Scandinavian. Maybe that explains why I don't like warm weather, why I don't fit in society so far, why I fell in love with a Swedish man at one point. I was dating a Swedish man and that felt so right, you know. And I always wanted to go to Scandinavian countries. I had a good friend from Norway. For a long time, we were always having interesting discussions. And I was thinking maybe I'm adopted, so decided to give my son for his birthday a genetic test, like what is it called, 38andMe, or the chromosome check, and to see, my son will see if he comes out with Swedish genes, because the other side is more or less very clearly, nobody would have adopted his father. Very, very clear. He comes from a long line of Dutch people. So anyway, everybody's looking for me, so I have to go. So if anybody has this condition called the Viking disease, please feel free to comment on my video. Peace, light, and love, and let's talk about what we can do about it. I just got diagnosed, and it's usually Scandinavian men, and I just want to know if anybody has experience with this condition, which is supposed to get worse with time. I'm a little bit scared. The doctor didn't offer me anything, and I think I'm going to go to another doctor to get more information about what I can do. I looked into physiotherapy a little bit. There's some shots. I heard they offered some sort of injection that helps. So please comment on my video and let's have a support group of what we can do, because I don't want to have surgery. So just let me know if you have any ideas about what we can do, that this situation doesn't get worse, because I don't want to have claw hands like this. It's supposed to get worse with age until like it is, I can't repeat the explanation of the doctor, but it has to do with the bone structure, and it's very common in North Europe. And I heard that in the US it's very, very common, because there are many immigrants from North Europe, Scandinavians. So please, let's connect Scandinavians. And if anybody is missing a Scandinavian baby born in 1964, do contact me. The idea gives me a lot of hope, because in my family there are a lot of very, very nasty people who are never concerned with other people and are just very focused on money and ego, and I always felt so different, so not in place. So learning that I might be adopted because I have Scandinavian disease gives me a lot of hope for my future. And even if I'm not adopted, I can see that maybe my genetic makeup is very different than my family, and maybe my Scandinavian DNA has influenced me to be very different than the rest of the family. That's why I don't really feel good in the Middle East here. But as we know, a lot of Scandinavians come here for the sun, which is so important. So this is my hand, and please, let's unite. Let's think of solutions. And if I can think of something, I will update. There are many videos on YouTube, but I don't want an operation. I want to have a solution, what we can do in Duputren's contortion. Peace, line.